Hi there. It's nearing the end of August, and I thought I'd give a garden tour before it's too late and share with you a little more of my humble homestead. Now, over a decade ago, my husband and I bought a distressed property, but that property is distressed no longer. We've worked our little tails off over the years, turning it from barren to full of life. Now I'm going to take you into the garden, but first I want to show you what it used to look like when we first bought the place. A dry patch of weeds. And this is my husband breaking ground for the very first time just to get the very mere idea of a garden going. Okay, so the red arrow is pointing to where the garden is now. And thank goodness we've come a long way since then. Let's go into the garden. Very different from what it used to be, isn't it? A vision plus hard work pays off. Well, first and foremost, we've got zucchini, of course, a garden staple that everyone has coming out their ears this time of year. I've been making a lot of fermented zucchini relish lately, and I'm going to start making zucchini soup batches soon to freeze for winter. These are my onions that I didn't grow nearly enough of this year, so next year I'm going to double or triple what I planted this year. I grow all three, yellow, white, and red. Now this is a variety of garlic I grow called Italian Red. I've been really happy with it because its size, its flavor, its hardiness is excellent. The next row over are my potatoes. I harvest hundreds of potatoes in late September and they typically last me through until the next March. Then we've got beautiful peas. I'd eat way more peas than I do now if they just weren't so time consuming to shell. So if you have any good tips on speed pea shelling, leave me a comment below. Here is my beautiful corn. And if you haven't heard about the health benefits of corn silk, then watch the video I made on it. Corn silk is just one of those things that is often chucked with the husk, but it shouldn't be. It is loaded with nutrition. It doesn't have much flavor, so it's really easy to add a handful chopped up over a salad or into a smoothie without adding any funny taste. I'm checking on my winter squash here. I planted delicata. We had such a cold spring. There's a couple baby squash in here, but with my northern growing zone, it's not looking like there's going to be enough time for maturity. My tomatoes weren't affected by the cold thanks to this tent-like cold frame I have them in. Inside is a tomato jungle. I've tried so many things over the years, from tires to water wells, remay, but so far this is the best solution I've come across that protects them from the overall cold weather, plus frosts in June, early frosts in August, etc. Plus, since tomatoes like the heat, they actually like that tent setting, and I can open all the doors and there's some vents in there too in the upper part. Okay, so this is my celery. It grows pretty wiry, not as thick stalks like the grocery store, but look how vibrantly green and healthy these greens are. It's rare to see grocery store celery this green and leafy. I love it. Green beans for salads and cooking. I like the baby size since they're tender. Have you ever fermented green beans before? Maybe with some garlic cloves in there and some fresh herbs in the brine? Oh my goodness, they are so good. This is my little pepper patch and another cold frame I have. It's a bit different from the tomato one. It has a removable cover, so once the cold is done in the spring or onsetting in the fall, I just put the cover back on. I'm a spicy weenie, so I just grow a variety of sweet peppers. These are my cukes, again, another cold frame. I tie cord to the cold frame and then train the zucchini plants to climb up rather than to spread so far out. Then the cukes just hang and grow. Carrots, of course, they're not ready yet. They got a late start too, but this is the crop that I overwinter in the ground and eat fresh carrots all winter long into the following spring. Now, if that's something that interests you, I'll link the video on how I do it in the description below. So that was obviously the vegetable garden, but let me give you some brief looks into other parts of our garden complex. This is our mini orchard, as we call it. 6 dwarf apple trees of different heirloom varieties. And we started our apple trees as bare roots, and many moons later, here they are. We recently put in 2 dwarf peach trees that are less than 2 years old at this time. They'll grow out like the apple trees. but it's actually impressive that they're throwing some mini fruit already in just their second summer. This is our hive of honeybees. We'll harvest the honey in probably September, early October. This is a gooseberry bush. This particular plant, they start off green and then turn purple as they ripen. They're good for fresh eating and jam, and maybe you remember the mention of gooseberry pie from the old storybooks. I'm yet to make one though. Then the delightful strawberry patch. We keep them netted to protect them from all birds, blackbirds, robins, and chickens. This is so funny. The girls will just line up outside the net if I'm in there and just wait for me to toss them strawberry treats. Originally, when we bought the property, the chicken coop was like this, and then we transformed it into this. When we got our first flock of chickens and really didn't know what we were doing many years ago, not knowing anything about their nature, we let them free range in the yard, but they dug up all my flower beds, so that form of free ranging ended pretty quickly. The following year, we moved them over to be free range in the garden and in the orchard complex that you just had a tour of. It has a very tall elk and deer-proof fence around it, so the chickens would be contained. So that year we put them in the garden complex. Guess what? We didn't get to eat anything from our vegetable garden because the chickens ate everything. The zucchini, the lettuce, the tomatoes, beans, all gone. So the following year after that, the lessons we learned, we put a secondary fence inside the complex around the vegetable garden to keep the chickens out. But they're still fenced in the main complex and they're able to continue a free-range lifestyle in the orchard. That solution has worked now, so everyone is happy. Well, the chickens were always happy, but now the humans are happy too. So to give the chickens freedom to go back and forth from the coop to the orchard, we built a chicken run out of pallets. This is the back side of the coop, and there's the chicken run. You can see a chicken going through it right here. Then pop, out they come the other side. They can go back and forth all day long. Well, I didn't get to showing you everything, but maybe for next year's garden tour 2023. Now remember not to throw out your corn silks. Check out the video I made on their health benefits right here. And to see how I overwinter hundreds of carrots each year in the ground, click this video right here. Hit that subscribe button to be a part of my channel, Clean Food Living, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me today. Bye.